The seventh slide, lack of funding for treatment. There has been grant lapsing for BSAS and RSAT. That meaning that the group facilitators who are supposed to be running these groups within the jail run out of hours and funding. Some of whom I've even talked to did not have insurance to get the medications they needed for different health conditions. They were waiting for the grant to come back so that way they could get back onto health insurance. And it's a very sad thing when you have to hear a person who's been an employee of the Berkshire County House of Corrections who would love more hours and who would love nothing but to be able to have a steady job is now facing lapsing in grants, different funding being cut short, not matching up with the new grants. It's a very big issue. Now, the part-time staff from these lack of grants, that means less treatment and less groups. This leaves the men open for all sorts of things. It can cause trouble in the pods because they're bored and not doing enough. And it can cause stagnation and not prepare them for the outside world because they're just sitting around. As I mentioned before, the staff unable to qualify for insurance due to the lapse in fundings. And then a lack of behavioral change treatment / resources. And when I say that, I mean that there is a huge lack of behavioral change groups. Many of the groups, even in pods that are not specified for addiction treatment, are mainly on addiction. So there is a big gap which could be filled through full-time staff and an extra person teaching these kind of groups. And then the education staff is only part-time, which means there's not enough programming going on, and there's not enough testing going on, and there's not enough follow-through going on. I've seen many circumstances of confusion from the inmates, it taking weeks for the men to get set up on education. And when asked, the education department says, well, I'm only here part-time. So this has caused a huge, huge issue with the jail.